Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Now, this is the fourth lecture of the chapter Merchant of Venice. I told you in the first lecture that we are going to, before discussing the text, we are going to discuss certain things. So we talked about William Shakespeare, and we talked about the Charles Lamb, from whose book this lesson of yours has been extracted, has been adapted and abridged. So now we'll talk about the genre of this play. Okay, the genre, the kind, the type of what type of literature it is, what kind of literature form it is. So, Merchant of Venice is actually a tragic comedy. This tragic comedy was written by William Shakespeare somewhere around 1596 and 1598. The play is is famous because of its dramatic scenes, because of its villain, Shylock. So this play belongs to the category of tragic comedy. What is tragic comedy? Who has coined the term, and who brought it to the English theatre? That is written here. You can see that tragic comedy is this term. Tragic comedy was coined by a Roman playwright. It was coined by the term tragic comedy was coined by a Roman playwright, Plautus, and in English theatre it was established by George Bernard Shaw. It is George Bernard Shaw who established tragic comedy on the English stage. Okay, I would repeat it. Tragic comedy is the term. The term tragic comedy was coined by Roman playwright Plautus, and its establishment on the English stage is credited to George Bernard Shaw. Okay, so what is tragic comedy? Tragic comedy, I would say that tragic comedy. You can see that it's it seems like as if it is a compound word. Obviously, it is. It's made of two words, tragic and comedy. So, what is tragic comedy? Tragic comedy is a literary device which is used in fictional works. It is used in fictional works, and it contains both tragic elements as well as comic elements. As far as an English poet, a critic, and a translation is concerned, whose name is Dryden. Dryden was an English poet, is a critic, is a translator, and also the England's first poet laureate. Dryden says that tragic comedy is the combination of tears and smiles. By tears and smiles, he means to say that a tragic comedy is that type of drama that deals with ordinary life and delightfully combines tears and smiles. You'll find in a tragic comedy, you'll find tragic elements, you'll find comic elements, you'll find romantic elements, and a happy ending. If you look at this chapter of yours, tragic comedy, as we are about to discuss, you'll come to know that in this chapter, Merchant of Venice, you'll find the tragic elements. Shylock specifically is the tragic character of the play. You'll find the comic elements. Obviously, we'll find the romantic elements. By romantic elements, I mean to say we'll discuss about the romance between. Romance between Bassanio and Portia. This romantic elements you can find in in the love affair of Bassanio and Portia, and obviously we have a happy ending of this of this play, of this chapter. Okay, so I would repeat it. It's a tragic comedy is the genre that this type this chapter belongs to. This tragicomedy is the term that is that was coined by Russian playwright Platus, it was established on the English stage by George Bernard Shaw. It's a literary device which is used in fictional works, specifically in the works which are related to theater. It contains both tragic elements as well as comic elements. As far as the Dryden, who's an English poet and a translator and a critique of great reputation, he says that tragicomedy is the combination of tears and smiles. It's a drama that deals with ordinary life and delightfully combines tears and smiles. Okay, and how do we say that Merchant of Venice is a tragic comedy? We can, put it in the structure of these. When we discuss this chapter, we'll come to know that we'll find the tragic elements. We'll find the comic elements. Obviously, we'll find that there is much abundance of romance in this. There is abundance of romance in this chapter, and also this chapter has a happy ending. Okay, so this is the third lecture. Now, in the next lecture, in the coming lectures, we're going to talk about the characters, and then the themes, and then we'll read about the text. Hope this will be helpful.